This podcast discusses paranormal activity and other topics some might find disturbing. Listener discretion is advised.
Is it a chill or a ghostly breeze? A knock, a tap, what do you believe? Ghosts, gossip, gather around where the lost and the haunted are found. Ghosts, gossip, don't make a sound. Truth or tales, we'll dig it out.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Ghost Gossip. I'm in my kitty cat robe.
Snow day.
It's a snow day. It is snowing really hard outside.
Yeah.
Dad texted me. He's like, "Did you bring the snow from Arkansas?" And I was like, "I guess so." Because this is like different snow.
It's an Arctic blast we're getting.
This is like fluffy. I look so pale.
It's warmer in Juneau, Alaska than it is in Tampa Bay, Florida right now.
Alaska?
Juneau.
Juneau. I thought you said.
Do you know what I
I
said?
was going to say, did you silence the J on that?
Do you know what I said, man?
Well, so before we get started, I just want to say a little couple shout outs. I have a listener who started listening and she recently had surgery and she is recovering. And I just want to give a big shout out to my listener, Leslie. So I hope you a speedy recovery. I hope you're feeling better because this is going to air probably in like a month. So hope you're feeling well. And yeah, thank you for listening. Daniel cares too.
I do. I hope you are well on your way to be on the mend. I hope you're feeling much better, Leslie. Thank you for your support. Thank you for listening.
He really cares.
And I really do care. I care about a lot of things. I care. Lamp.
Okay. So yes, we are here. Oh gosh, we have an unscripted episode. We decided that
This might go horribly off the
you
rails.
might never see this.
Oh, you're there. You got to post this. This is going to be a good one.
If the echo,
But it might be unhinged.
If the echo is echoing, I am not posting it. I'm going to put my headphones on, so I'm going to take my little kitty cat ears down. This is what I wear in the morning when I drink coffee in the living room because I'm cold and nobody's home.
A little snow leopard today.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's get my headphones.
Sexy snow leopard. What
All
I'm talking
right,
about.
all right. This is a PG-13.
Hey,
rated
kitty
show.
cat.
We keep it PG-13.
Hey.
My mother listens. Behave.
Hope you're staying warm
Hey.
during the snow bubs.
Hey, Bobby. Bubby's in Vegas right now.
Oh, that's right. They're listening to the Eagles today. Is that right?
Is it today?
I think it's Saturday.
Oh, okay. Well, good for them. I'm so proud of them for going and having so much fun. I love Vegas, and it's a lot warmer where they are than in here. They're supposed to come home tomorrow, I think, but I don't know if they're going to get home. I'm not even going to lie.
I just hope they, have a peaceful, easy feeling while they're out there.
Is that a song?
Yes. 100% it is.
I thought so. But, I just wasn't sure, so I had to check.
Yeah.
Oh, so do you know what we're talking about today?
Yes. I have a general idea.
A general idea.
Yeah.
We're talking about our house.
And with it snowing today, it is very apropos because we moved. And when I say we, I mean Ashley and I physically moved all of our stuff in the snow about, what would you say, about 15 miles?
Well, we were already there. So years and years ago, when we met, we were both single parents with our own houses and our own children and our own furniture.
Our own stuff.
Everything. We were in our early 30s, well, mid 30s. We were 34 when we met. And by the time we moved in together, we were,
38.
Something like that. Yeah, something like that.
37, 38.
37 or 38. So when we decided to move in together, we had to do it very strategically because we had two houses, two sets of furniture.
Yeah, in stages. It was a process.
It was, we started in 2020 fixing up my house. And my house was remodeled, but I was trying to just update it just a little bit to the trim was like this beige color, and I had ripped the carpet out because I'm highly allergic to carpet and put hardwoods down. So just doing the finishing touches on certain things. And so we started in 2020 doing that to my house that I lived in when I met Daniel. We live 6 miles apart, so thankfully we didn't live far away from each other, so that was amazing. Well, he had a basement on his house, so we moved half of my stuff into the basement and half of my stuff into his storage unit, kind of the other direction of his house. But then we sold my house. We started fixing up his house while looking for a house. It was in the boom of 2021 housing market, and it was nuts. It was nuts. We could not find a house. So there were 5 of us living in 1,600 square feet, and at the time when I moved in, we only had 1 bathroom.
Yeah, my house was in it was in the process of being fixed up. I mean, it was, you know, 40, 50 years
50 years
old.
old, I think.
Yeah, that nothing had really been done or changed. So it was a lot.
I
And
I kinda gave him an ultimatum
yeah,
after I moved in. I was like, "If you don't get that bathroom back," the master was the one that was ripped out. I was like, "If you don't get that master bathroom done, I'm leaving."
yeah.
I was like, "I can't do this with 3 children."
It's really messed up. You know how that whole project started?
No,
The toilet was wobbly.
but I hate a wobbly toilet.
The toilet was wobbly, yeah. So I tried to tighten it down, and the whole, like, concrete that the bathroom was sitting on was cracked. So I had to tear it all out, which mean I had to tear the whole bathroom out to the subfloor.
We weren't together when that happened,
No.
but I joke with Daniel sometimes, like, projects take 5 to 6 business months, if not longer, to get done. He gets mad at me when I say that.
I've gotten better at it,
He's gotten so much better.
but going back to fixing up your house, we built an amazing deck
Oh,
together.
we did.
I did do your cabinet doors completely off the hinges, sanded, repainted.
I helped. I was there. I was present.
Yeah.
I'd helped. We were both on that ladder. Yes, but you did. You took the doors. I had a lot of anxiety because, guys, once upon a time, I was in an abusive marriage when I was much, much younger. It was my first marriage. I got married at like 22. I was just turned 22. And my ex husband took my cabinet doors off my cabinets to redo them. And I don't know where they went. I never saw them again. They never put them up. It was a form of control. If he hears this, you can deny it. I don't care. It was a form of control, kind of messing up the house, messing up this and that, and it I didn't know it at the time. And so I had a lot of anxiety when Daniel took those doors off because Daniel was a single dad. It took him a while to do things because he was working multiple jobs, he was in school full time, and so when he took those doors off, I was like, oh my god, this is when I was 22 all over, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god." And I made sure I told him, I was like, "Listen, I have, like, PTSD, please don't mess my doors up, I'm gonna need my doors back. If I don't get my doors back on the hinges by, like, in a week, I'm going to have a panic attack." And he did. He worked tirelessly in his basement. He got the doors done and back on in one piece. None of them were broken and they all came back home. So we started doing that. After we sold my house went under contract within what?
2
It
days?
would have gone faster, but I took offers for like 5 days.
Yeah.
So I had like my first offer the first day. I had 5 offers to choose from. Did not pick the highest one. I had bad advice, but it was fine. Everything worked out the way it was supposed to. And then trying to find a new house with 5 people and 1,600 square feet. Essentially, we have triplets, 2 girls who were sharing a room for the first time ever. It was hell on earth. And it took so long to find a place to move into. Like, we had essentially just given up. It took over 8 months. And by the time we found the house that we found, it was like, this is weird. This is a weird house. This house is like a maze. Why do we have all these mirrors?
So I really remember that day of walking through the house because I was working at one of my cousin's rental properties. She was setting up to put in a unit to earn some extra Christmas money. And you called me and you're like, Pam says,
Meet us there now.
meet us there now. And so like mid install, I'd take off and drive 40 minutes to come walk the house. And it was just, we walked it 3 times, 3.5 times.
At least 3, I don't think any more because there was an open house
But yeah.
and there were a lot of people there.
Yeah. The basement was
Weird.
tricky.
Tricky is a good word. But it had the space. 55 if you've listened to my interviews, I've said about it, it was 5,500 square feet, huge house. It was as big as it was, but it didn't look as big as it was.
No, it didn't.
Until you were in it walking around, like, everybody we had do work in that house, they were just like, "This house just keeps going. This house makes no sense. This house just keeps going. You think you're done, and then there's more house connected to the house." The house was really, really weird. And we just knew this was the house, though. It didn't have a good vibe. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't like welcoming.
I think we talked about that really early, maybe even that day about
Mhm.
because
Many other
we had been in
houses.
that one house. I think it was the first house we looked at, or it may have been the second one, but it had such a good vibe, except for the neighbor.
Oh my
He
God.
was yelling at the kid, or did he yell at you? Or there
He
was,
yelled at me.
yeah. It was,
Yeah, he yelled at me because he said I was parked on his grass.
and we're like, can you imagine if the kids are out here in the cul-de-sac playing? Like, what our
We
life would be hell.
we have 3 neighbors. We do have 3 neighbors. We have more than 3 neighbors, but we have 3 children. At the time, they were what, 8, 9, 10, somewhere around that age,
Yeah,
9, 10, 11. They were younger. They were 4th grade and 5th grade, and we were like, "This guy's gonna make our life a living hell." Oh boy, didn't we know it.
yeah. But that house had such good energy.
Yes,
It really
it
did.
really had great energy, but we decided that it was at the top of our budget, and the guy was just it wasn't even worth it because that guy was such an asshole.
Yeah, we knew what we were gonna have to deal with long term.
If he yelled at me for barely parking on his grass, I wasn't in his yard, I was just on the curb. He yelled at me as a grown woman, I knew he was gonna be yelling at my kids.
Yeah, and it's not
I'd
even.
hate to have to kill somebody
And
today, you know?
it wasn't even one of those hard curbs. It's one of the gently sloping ones. Like
Yeah.
people pull up on it all the time.
Mhm. And I even, like, got out and looked, I wasn't even on it. So, I mean, I moved my car, but yeah, I told Daniel, I was like, "That man yelled at me."
Nah, bro.
No. So we didn't that was the first house in the area that we looked at. We looked at a few more. We made offers on a few more. Everything fell through. There was one house that somebody had recently died of COVID, and this is when my sensitivities were waking up because I knew that before knowing that. It was really cool. I mean, hey, not that he passed away, but just knowing that somebody had passed away recently and of what they died from, that was a really cool validating moment for me. But it wasn't until we bought the haunted house. So, why we wanted to talk about this today is because when we moved, like Daniel kind of hinted at in the beginning, when we moved, we had filled up the truck. We had rented a U-Haul, backed it in. He took out one of the trees in the yard.
The tree was dead.
It was dead.
Let's just cover.
It was as
Do you
dead
do you
as
do you,
dead could
do
be.
you remember when that thing fell? It when it fell, I've never seen a tree do this. It was like paper mache.
It disintegrated. It
It
was like
just
"Pew."
it was like in place. The whole tree was in place and flat.
It was crazy.
Yeah, it was weird.
It was completely dead. I could have pushed it over with my booty cheeks and it would have just fell over the same way that truck pushed it over. It was dead.
But yeah, that was. I mean, that sidewalk. I remember the sidewalk and the stairs being covered in snow and ice, and it was
7 inches.
treacherous.
7 inches. I had told Daniel before he went to bed, because the only bed we took off the truck was ours, because I'm pretty sure the kids were with their other parents that
Yeah,
day.
it was just us. Yeah.
And so it was just us, but and the dogs and the cats. We didn't have any food because we hadn't gone to the grocery store yet. Y'all have to understand in South Carolina, when they say there's 7 to 9 to 10 inches of snow coming, it never happens. It's hardly ever does it happen.
Maybe once a decade.
It they'll say, "It's gonna be the worst snowstorm we've ever seen in our lifetime. Get your bread and milk for your bread and milk sandwiches. We're all gonna
And it ends
die."
up just being like
Dusting.
the dusting or
Nothing.
like some flurries and then
Ugh.
rain.
Yes, it's gross. It's so gross. And so, like, we were like, "We don't need to go to the store. It's fine. Everything is fine." And I remember looking at him, "It's not gonna do anything. It's not gonna do anything." And guess what? I
It
woke up.
it did something.
I looked out the window and went, "Fuck."
We had to. And this was a 26-foot U-Haul.
That we didn't have the money at the time to keep longer than we had. We had to get this truck back to U-Haul.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm so broke.
I had to drive that thing all the way to Greece.
I know. I
Well, I
know.
said-
So we bought this house. We moved into this house in the snow. And then now here we are
To say-
talking about the haunted house in snow.
Yeah. So to say that between walking the house, between moving into the house, I think we were a little distracted
But, yeah.
and not picking up the full vibes of the house because I remember, I think it was that first day or maybe it was that weekend when we were talking about the house. We both picked up on something, just that it was,
Like, it feels weird.
It was just a weird layout. It just kind of, it wasn't bad,
Mhm.
but
There was something.
it wasn't like any other house I'd ever walked through or
Right.
lived in.
Even our realtor, Pam, was like, "This house is weird. This
It's a
house
very-
is a maze."
Two masters.
2 masters, 1 on the first floor, 1 on the second. The house was built for 2 grown-ups,
A secret room
a secret room behind a bookshelf, a basement that went on for
and
days,
lots of mirrors, 32,
32 mirrors throughout the whole house.
and these were like 4 by 6, 30 by 30.
Some of
The
them were bigger,
Yeah, I think the biggest one I measured,
5 by 8
it was, I
or
think
6 by 8.
it was either 8 or 9 feet by, I think, 4
It was
feet.
huge.
Yeah.
It was absolutely huge, and I had asked the realtor, their realtor, I was like, "By the way, what is happening in the basement?" While I was closing, because that's when I met his sister, I met his nephew, like, wonderful people, wonderful family. Learned a lot about him that day.
Do you remember the fans?
Uh-huh,
'Cause we were like,
uh-huh. It looked like a nail salon.
we thought it was a nail salon, a
Yeah.
massage salon, we didn't know what it
A
was.
happy ending salon.
Yes.
That was kinda where our mind went,
Ye
like, "Oh, happy endings happening down here."
Yeah, the speakeasy of salons.
Yeah. It was I'm not gonna post a picture because I don't wanna dox the location, but it was a lot. It was a lot, and I remember the realtor was like, "Oh, he was Mr. Universe. He had a gym in the basement." His nephew's like, "Yeah, it would look like Gold's Gym." His sister's like, "He used to train beauty queens. That's why there's a tanning bed and a sauna down there." Like, that was his work. That's what he did for a living.
Yeah.
He worked down there, and his mother lived on the first floor. We found out they lived together for many, many years. I think maybe his whole life. I think they lived together, and because he passed away in 2018, she passed away 4 months after he passed.
What's amazing to me is that so many of the neighbors who had been there, because there were a lot of the neighbors that had been there since the neighborhood was built, so
Right.
25 years ago at that point.
Yeah.
So, a lot of them knew him and knew about his whole life, like, people would just walk by the house and stop and tell us stories.
If we were outside, like, the first day, because we had to walk the dogs, we didn't have a
That dude
fence.
was weird. The guy the first day when we were moving, that dude was weird.
Oh, yeah, 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 that was before the snow.
He came on the U-Haul.
Oh, he did come on the
Yes,
U-Haul.
he did.
That was, like, the last time we saw him. I said something to him, didn't I?
Yeah, I mean, it was literally the first or second day,
I
and we
can't
never saw him again. Like, what's
I
up?
said something. No, I saw him again because I would walk in the morning, and that's when he would walk, but I
Okay.
said something to him, and I think he caught the hint, like, y'all, I don't do people that are encroaching on my boundaries. I am not scared to tell somebody to back off. I cannot remember what I said to him, but he got off the truck and he left, and he never stopped at our house again. We had some weird people in that neighborhood.
Yes.
We had that one man that asked Daisy to get in his car.
Yeah.
Get in the car. Oh.
If I remember correctly, that first guy, he had, like, a notepad, and he was taking notes.
Oh, yeah, that's
Do you
right.
remember that?
Yes, he did have a little
Little
yellow.
flip up
Yeah.
note, yeah. 'Cause
Yeah.
he was writing down our names. Yes, that's what he was doing, our kids' names, our names.
Oh, right off.
And then when that person asked Daisy to get in the car, I went and knocked on his
He
door.
sure did. This was a different guy. This was
Yeah.
a different man that asked my daughter to get in his car because she was carrying this was like a few months after we moved in. This is the same guy that pulled up beside me when I was getting out of my car unloading, and he said, "Do you know about the secret room?" I said, "Yeah, I live here."
Yeah.
I bought the house, didn't I? Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I wasn't pleasant to that guy either. Y'all, I'm not pleasant. Okay, let's just if you make me feel weird, I'm not nice to you. Like,
Like, you don't
go
ask
away.
you d and I told him, you don't ask my children to get in your car or any
Ever.
other children for that matter."
Oh, yeah, when Daisy came in, I couldn't even respond. Daniel was out the door, I think halfway up the neighborhood by the time it clicked in my head that a random man asked my daughter to get in his car. So, yeah, he was gone and at the guy's house, and this guy's itty bitty, and Daniel is not itty bitty.
I mean,
He scared him.
I was prepared. Like, I if he was gonna give me mouth, he didn't.
He didn't. His wife was shocked.
Yes,
His
you
wife was shocked.
yeah.
Yeah, like, maybe I understand it might have been innocent, but when you ask a stranger's child to get in your car, that is not a good look for you,
No.
especially this day and age. Anyway, so the house was weird, the neighbors were weird. I've never met so many neighbors in my life. They were all kinda that first day when we were walking the dogs in the snow. Remember Evan?
Yeah.
And, God, what was his name, the dog?
Thimble?
Oh, Thistle.
Thistle.
Oh, I love Thistle. He didn't have Thistle on a leash, and he came out, and Luke, oh my god, it scared the crap out of me.
Yeah.
Remember the time Luke got out and, like, tackled Thistle, and Evan's like,
Yeah.
"It's so fun, man," and I was like, "Oh my god, Luke is gonna kill Thistle."
And the kids loved him. They would go knock on his door.
To see Thistle.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was yeah, he was great, but so all the other neighbors were coming out, they were telling us all these stories about the owner, and we didn't know he had passed away in the house at this point, so we were just finding out about this man who hated kids, who hated women, who wasn't married, he lived with his mother. He would get toys in his yard and hold them hostage. The parents that of the toys of the kids would call the police would come out and knock on the door and be like, "Hey, can you give back the toys to the children, please, sir?" The mother would ask the kids on on Halloween during trick or treating if they lived in the neighborhood and which house they lived in because she was fully under the belief that if they didn't live in the neighborhood, they didn't get candy.
Yeah.
Like these are people that we would have avoided 100% of the time. Especially my personality being people usually like Daniel more than they like me because he's bubbly and he's friendly and I am a bitch. So, and I am very like, I'm not going to fake it. If I don't like you, I will be polite, but I'm not going to fake it. I'm not a fake person and I'm very consistent. And so I'll be polite and I'll be an adult.
I'm not gonna try to come interact with you.
Oh no, I'm going to avoid you like the plague unless I have to. So we get in this house and we learn all this stuff about this guy and I'm telling Daniel like I'm feeling watched in here, especially in my closet where I changed cuz where when at the time I was doing 75 hard, didn't miss a single day of that.
That's a
That's a
I
podcast for a
have
different day.
thoughts.
I about myself.
Yes.
I did 3 rounds of
I
it back to back. I about myself.
and I highly advised in it, but against it. If you know Ashley, she's a bit stubborn, and if she sets her mind to something, she's gonna do it. And she had set her mind to that, so it really doesn't matter what I said until I think until the third time, till you started it.
Yeah, I was killing my body. My body couldn't handle it. It started and then the
It's
stress
intense. It's intense. It's
yeah,
hard to do once.
the stress of the house and everything, we had no clue, like, it was I had done, like, what, 2 rounds of it before we moved into the new house, and the last one was, like, when I started my health went downhill, and we couldn't find out why. We didn't know why, but do you remember, like, the first thing that happened once we moved in? Do you remember?
I remember our daughter because she was in that middle room.
Before that, because
I,
that
f-
was about March or
I
April.
thought it was. I thought there was something before that, but I can't. I can't put my finger on it.
It was the lights.
What lights?
My closet light came on once, and then the sunroom light was coming on
Okay.
while we were at work and in the middle of the night.
Yeah, so it was a sunroom light.
That was so my closet light came on once, and only did it one time. It was right after you switched it out to that really pretty crystal light that I got, you
Yeah.
know? And it came on, like, immediately after you installed it, like, a few days after, and I was like, because you know me, I turn lights off. I turn lights off. I'm like, "Off, off, 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 off," because you know, my father. I am my father's daughter. I will turn them off with you in there. I don't care.
Well,
Turn it off.
I do remember this might have been even when I was coming over to change all the sockets out, change the covers and the sockets before they painted.
We had to take them off.
Yeah, I was over there and
We were taking them off.
yeah, I was taking them off. Yeah, but I did change them. Some of them.
Some of them eventually, but not until
Okay.
later on.
So I was over there and the sunroom light was on. All the other lights were off. And I asked you if you left it on. You're like, no, I didn't leave any lights on.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, maybe she forgot to turn it off. Maybe you just didn't notice. But I remember that light being on. And it was the
Mhm.
only light on when I went in.
So when we first bought the house, it looked like straight out of 1992 or an episode out of 90210.
Yeah, that especially the dining room.
It was sponge paint,
We
pink.
thought it was
and
wallpaper.
We thought it was wallpaper, yeah. And then Tony, God love Tony, he's like, "Oh, good, this is sponge paint."
It was like 80s Miami just in
My
the dining room.
It was crazy, but it was pink and pale blue and pale green, and it was everything was two-tone.
Glass
All the
furniture.
walls, glass furniture or black marble furniture.
Yes.
It it was a vibe. And so before we even moved our stuff in, I had hired a painter. He was there like the day after I closed and started painting. And that's when the lights started. It was then, and then we switched out the fan in the
Hmm.
sunroom and the light in the closet. And those were the two that came on. It was kind of like, where'd my stuff go? Where did it go?
Why are we changing?
Why are we changing?
What's happened?
So after that, it was initially just me feeling stuff, feeling weird, hearing voices, hearing footsteps, but it was little things and I wasn't really talking about it. I would mention it to Daniel, like, I feel like I'm being watched. And he's like, it's just because we're in a new house. And I'm like, I'm not a child. I am a grown up. I can sleep in weird places because I am old. But it was always something else. Also, the Bible. That was one of the first things I always forget this story how soon it happened. When we closed on the house, Daniel went and got the kids and the dogs. I closed on the house and I surprised them. They didn't realize we were closing that day.
Yeah.
So he had showed up to the house. I was in the garage with the door shut, so they didn't know I was there. I opened it, I have it on video. It was so sweet. Gave them a tour of the house for the first time. They were loving it. They were giggling. We went into the basement where there was some furniture because remember, his sister was like, we've tried for 4 years to get it cleaned out. We just can't do anything more. Is it okay if we leave stuff? And I was like, whatever,
Yeah.
just leave it. We'll handle all of it. So we go down into the basement. I wonder if this is on that video, us finding that cabinet and opening it. Cause I think you opened the cabinet or one of the kids opened the cabinet and that Bible was there.
I remember opening the cabinet, the Bible being there,
Okay.
and I remember setting it on there was some kinda stand down there.
Yeah, it was the stand that you took it out of.
Eh
You put it on top of it.
Yeah, yeah,
Well, I had earlier that day during closing, his sister had told me about the Bibles that he had wanted to bless the house during construction and he put one Bible in all four corners of the basement to bless the house and I was like, this must be one of the Bibles that he used to bless the house. So, I honestly really wanted to mail it to her because she is such a sweet soul. We still talk to this day. She was devastated when I decided to sell the house and move, but she is a wonderful human being, such a kind heart, and she would come and take care of her brother and her mom, and she truly is such a sweetheart. So I was like, maybe she would want this Bible. She told me about it, maybe she would want it. I think I'm gonna mail it to her, but I gotta find her address. So I had put the Bible I left it on that cabinet, and then after we moved in, that Bible started moving around and it was, like, ending up on the floor, and that piece of paper that was in it was coming out of it, and it was open on the floor too, and I was like, "Daniel, are you moving this?" And I asked the kids, "Hey, kids, are you moving this?" And they were all, like, looking at me like, "What Bible?"
I know that I only moved it once, and you remember that white shelf that I took off to put in Dee's room?
Mhm.
I'd moved it off of that stand and put it on that shelf that I took off with the metal brackets. It was down there in the basement. I
But you
took
didn't put it on the floor and open it up and open the page up.
No, no, that's what I'm saying. The only thing I did ever to that Bible was take it out of that cabinet, put it on top of the cabinet, and then move it to that shelf at some point, and then I never touched it again.
Yeah. And that's when it kinda started, and, like, at that point, it was freaking me out because I was feeling watched. I was hearing, like, "Mommy," in the middle of, like, the morning because I was still doing 75 hard, so I'd be up at, like, 5 in the morning and nobody's awake. "Mommy," or "Hello," or remember that one time you did hear a "hello"?
Yeah, I did. We were laying in bed, and our door was open, and it sounded like it was coming from right at the top of the stairs in
It
the
sounded like
loft.
my mom. It was a
And
woman's voice.
I think that's about the same time that Victoria started not being able to sleep, was seeing shadows in her corner,
Mhm, in the loft, and
bad
yeah.
dreams.
She started to get aggressive. It was one of those things that we knew something was going on with her, but because of the other circumstances of life, selling her family home and moving out and feeling a lot of big feelings at age 9-ish, I can't remember
Yeah,
exactly how old she was, like, we just kinda attributed to her dealing with some abandonment issues and some other issues with moving and
right.
loss, you know? She was mourning.
There was a huge transition in
Right.
all of our lives.
It was very hard. Blending 2 families when especially when you have 3 children, period, is hard, but when they're that age and the same age, it's and then you have me, I was a single mom for 7 years, like, before I moved in with you, like,
Yeah.
I raised Daisy by myself and lived by myself, and all of a sudden, she had to share space, like, she was 3 years old, like, when I got a divorce, and, it was just her and me, and then all of a sudden, she's gotta share space, and she keeps having to move schools, like, it was hard. It was really
It
hard,
was a lot. It
and
really was.
and so we were trying to explain the behavior with just psychology, you know?
And just all the variables because there were so many variables, like,
Yeah.
you couldn't put your finger on any one thing.
Right. So it was just one of those things. But when she had cut Isaiah's head open with that cup once, she had thrown it at him really, really hard. hit him in the head. It was just a plastic cup from Walmart, like cheap or maybe Target, one of those cheap plastic cups. And then she had punched Daisy in the face in the backyard. And I was like, Daniel, Daniel. And so, but when she finally came out and said, hey, there's a man in my room and I saw him in the loft. And last night he's like getting closer to me. And last night he was reaching for me. I was like, oh boy, okay, it's not just me.
Yeah, 'cause she wasn't sleeping,
No, she was not sleeping.
and
She was
she
having nightmares.
and she was always a sleeper. I mean,
Oh,
she
she
still
was our
is.
oh, she is our sleeper. She's the one that can just fall asleep at like 2 in the afternoon, wake up at 8,
Sh
eat something, and go back to sleep.
she got mad at me just now when I went and tell her good morning. It's what, 12 o'clock.
Did you wake her up?
Well, Daisy had already woken her up,
Ah, I was gonna
but
say, I don't wake them up, even when our mothers are like, "You just let them sleep." Have you met them? Yes, I do. I
I
let
just
them sleep.
I just wanted her to see the snow, and
It's not going anywhere.
I honestly, I wanted to ask if she wanted anything to eat because I made breakfast for everybody else, so I didn't want
That's
her to
true.
feel left out, and I didn't even get a chance to ask her if she wanted anything to eat.
You don't wake that one up. That's the one we don't like waking up. That's the one it's like you wake her up and then shut the door real fast and, like, hide and run. She's our enforcer.
Yes, she is the enforcer.
She's our enforcer, yeah, the 3 of them. So, yeah. Oh, and also when this is there's so much that happened in that house, it's kinda hard because I don't have it written out. We are doing it from memory. The first thing we did when we bought the house was sage the house really badly. Really, really badly. We didn't know what we were doing.
I remember, like, running around frantically to different stores to just try to find sage, and I found that 3-pack, and it was just, like, worst quality sage. It was terrible.
We didn't open any windows.
No.
We didn't do anything, and oh boy, I was not even in a spiritual journey yet, so I had no clue what we were doing. We were just doing it because the energy felt, we were trying to help the energy feel nice and fluffy and light and airy, and yeah, we made it feel like death and trespassing and unwelcomeness, oppression.
Yeah.
We kicked all that crap up, and so the house had sat vacant for 4 years because he passed in 2018 and we moved in 2022. So nobody had lived in the house. And so the energy just kind of became, especially with all those mirrors, it was like a vortex of energy, not great energy.
And the only people that were really in and out of the house were his sister and his nephews.
On a regular basis. And that would be like maybe every few weeks they would come down. And from what they told me, they had a huge dumpster in the driveway for a really long time
Yeah.
because they had to clear out 5,500 square feet of furniture and workout
Yeah,
equipment.
25 years worth.
Yeah, because yeah. And, some people joke like, I don't even, what happened to the modern day ghosts? Are there any modern day ghosts? He died in 2018. He was a very much a modern day ghost. And the house was not Victorian. It was built in 1998, completed in 1999.
Yeah.
So it's not your typical house, but even so, it never felt ours.
I just thought about this just a few minutes ago. It's like, what were all those neighbors saying about the house before we moved in? Like, what stories did they have?
I know the stories that they told
And
me.
and which ones did they not?
I
You know what I
know.
mean? But and why did it sit there for 3 years? Like,
I know why it sat there for 3 years.
I think a lot of other people had experiences in and around that house, and people knew it.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think his sister had experiences, and I always worry because I never wanna upset her if she ever finds this podcast. I never wanna upset her, but the stories that I tell about her brother are stories from people that knew him, and I I made memories, my own memories with him, so I try to be careful, but he knows, and I say that. He's an intelligent spirit, like, he knows what kind of person he was, you know? He wasn't pleasant, he was very prickly, is the word I use for him, very prickly,
And we've
persnickety.
we've talked about this before. By the time we moved out, he'd grown much softer.
Oh, yeah, he had eased to us, and it was almost, like, playful with us sometimes. He was still an ass, but he was more playful.
Yes.
He became like a grumpy grandpa, and I don't think people understand that because I'm talking about somebody who I don't know like I know them. I feel like I do. All of us in our house, we all had some kind of
It
experience with
it,
him.
it took me
It took you the
it took me it took
longest.
me it took me a while to really accept the fact that there was another presence in the house that was really out of our control of what it
Oh,
did,
yeah.
what it tried, what it I mean,
We were fighting. You remember that?
yeah.
We were fighting really bad. because Daniel at the time was not welcoming to the idea that there was a ghost or spirit in the house. And he was not he's a big softy, he's a big sweetheart, but he was not kind. It was he was quite hard on me,
Well,
and I was not sleeping, and I was having all this stuff happen, and I was emotional, more emotional than I am
not
regularly.
not that I'm trying to justify anything, but just from my perspective at the time, we had gone through so much to get to that point.
Mhm.
Like, I mean, 2 years of working our ass off every weekend, like,
Mm,
it
yeah.
and we got to that point, we had worked so hard, and then it's like
Now we don't even feel at home, and she's always upset because there's something, like, watching her change. There was something watching us during.
and I can't put my finger on it, there's
Right.
nothing I can do about it, like, is this real? Is this really happening? I wasn't necessarily having all the same experiences, but I was seeing stuff, but, it was a giant bug in the closet.
Yeah, the biggest bug I've ever
So
heard about it. There's a big bug in the closet is what he said. Eventually, we had gotten a motion light and put it in his closet, and that's what we talk about. It would come on in the middle of the night, it would come on during the day, it would come on if Daniel would walk in or the cat would walk in, the door would be closed, so it's nobody signaling it. You literally had to walk into the closet and, like, wave at it to get it to come on, so it was one of those things. It was when you are feeling so strongly everything that's going around you, and then you have somebody dismissing you and pretty much insinuating you're just crazy and that's not really happening. It was rough. We had a really hard time that first year up until 2024 when we went to the Crescent. I think that was really a shifting point for you.
it was, and I think there was a couple of months leading up to that where
You had heard footsteps.
I had heard footsteps, we had heard the mommy, the hay,
You had had the light
the
because you had in 2022 or 2023 you
yeah.
started that job downtown, and so you were studying for that test, and so the light had come on.
That was one of the first big ones that was like, because it was just me in there.
Yeah, I was in bed and the kids were with their other parents
Yeah,
for the weekend.
and that was just a complete reaction, I mean, complete reactive immediately to what I said.
Yeah, it answered you.
Yeah,
It was responsive. You know, Daniel, if you haven't heard this story, Daniel was up late. It was like 11 o'clock midnight, and he was studying for a test he had to do for his licensing. And the light came on next to him. And he's like, I don't need that on.
it
Can you
was
turn it off for me?
it was a sunroom light.
Yeah, it was a sunroom. There was the light that was the most active.
Mhm.
And it went off after he asked it to turn it off. And that was the first thing that he really truly experienced alone, where he knew there was nobody else around.
And I don't have there's no explanation for that.
No. And it was one of those things that was like right in his face. And then we went to the Crescent and we had the experience there. And that's when Daniel's perception or perspective started to change very quickly.
3:33 in the morning. It was and I'm like, I've tried so many times to like, was it this? Was it that? Like in my mind, and I'm like, there's nothing that I can definitively say that's what caused that.
Yeah. And what's crazy is like the people hear screeching up the hall in that
Mhm.
one. And it's like, did we hear the screeching? And then it just sound like scratches on the ceiling? Did we hear like the wheels turning? Rah, rah,
Yeah.
rah,
Here here's
rah.
one here's one of the things that I've always thought, and I don't know that I've ever mentioned it to you, but, like, when they were rolling them down those halls on those gurneys, because they weren't all necessarily dead at that point, and they're reaching out, scratching the
Oh my
walls.
God. Oh. Oh, I didn't think about that. I mean, it's a possibility. At that point, at 3:30 in the morning when they were moving them from the psychiatric unit to the elevator to the morgue, they were dead.
But
But if they were transporting them to the what is now the honeymoon suite in the annex at one time, it was a psychiatric unit.
that's the direction those scratches were moving in.
I thought they were moving towards the elevator, not towards I thought they went this way over our head from the headboard to the dresser.
They came from our feet to our head.
Oh my god.
Yep.
I remember both of us shooting straight up.
I remember following the sound with my eyes, and it went
Yeah.
right over our heads.
And you were I can't remember what you said it was, and I was like, "No, it's scratching. That's scratching.
We just literally rolled over and went to sleep and didn't talk about it.
Not only we talked about the next day,
Yeah.
but not then. We went right back to sleep like
Yeah,
nothing happened.
we did.
I'm telling you, that's the best sleep I have at the Crescent Hotel.
So,
I literally sleep like a baby. I slept like a well, then again, I was up for until 3 o'clock every single morning when I was there. However, I slept like a baby. That's the best sleep I've had in a long time.
I've said this to you before, that's one of my favorite trips we've ever been on.
It was amazing. It was amazing. I love it there. I absolutely love it there. Do I wanna be snowed in there? No, not really. I do like coming home, but that is one of my favorite places in the United States.
Just the landscape, the geology, the geography, all of that,
The history.
it's magnificently beautiful, and I'd never, like, really been to that part of the country, so it was brand new, and I was like, "Wow, this exists. This
This
is
is really
beautiful."
pretty, yeah, and then when we got back, that's when I really committed to my paranormal journey, you know? That's when I was like, "This is what I'm supposed to be doing. This is where I'm supposed to be at, like, I'm on the right track." Something about that trip really kind of connected it in my brain, like, everything that I'm experiencing in the house and that trip were just stepping stools or stepping pathways or whatever, stepping
Stones.
stones, thank you, that's the word I'm looking for. Stepping tools, what?
It's like my dad calling me buddy.
Hey,
He's like,
buddy.
"Bye, buddy." I'm like,
Never call me that again. But yeah, they were just like it was that like, "Oh, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. This feels right." And then I had the whole thing with the psychic, and she was like, "I have somebody who's mad about a name," and I'm like, "Oh, no. Oh, no, it's Bet."
Yep.
And then having she's like, you have gifts, and your gifts are to help people cross over." And I'm like, "Well, what?" And then I heard that from 3 other psychics as well. Since then, it's been crazy. But that was, like once we got back, the light came on in the closet the first night we were back.
It
He was
did.
kinda like, Where did you go? You went and saw other
It
ghosts?"
was at, like, midnight, I wanna say, like, 12:30, between 12 and 1.
It came on. I have the picture of it, but I can tell you exactly what time Lily was laying on the bed. I don't think it was as late as that. I think we were getting home and getting unpacked, and the light came on like,
Okay.
"Excuse me?" There have been many times where it has come on in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Remember
It's
when
come on at 11, it's come on at midnight, it's come on at 2, 3 in the morning,
yeah,
it's come
5 in
on
the
at
morning.
12, 2 o'clock in the
Do
afternoon.
you remember that time when we were home alone and the Alexa turned our bedroom lights on and we heard her say, "Okay," and they turned the lights on at like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah.
And then we were like,
What?
because I heard her say,
Okay.
"Okay," like somebody said, "Alexa, turn the lights on," in our room.
Yeah,
Because if you are in another room and you're talking to the Alexa, an Alexa in another room is not gonna respond. It's gonna respond in the room you're in.
exactly, yeah.
Uh-huh. Or the time I heard Victoria standing next to me at 4 o'clock in the morning going, "Ashley," but she was at her mom's house,
Mhm. And she woke up
at her mom's
we
house
we got
calling for me.
yeah, 'cause when she got home, we asked her how she slept, and she said, "I woke up at, like, what, 3, 4 in the morning?"
And I called for you.
Yep.
And I was like and that was when I kind of first learned that I hear sometimes I can hear people.
Well, it makes a lot more sense now that she would wake up in the middle of the night and call for you after we've known what all has happened.
Yes, it does make more sense now that we are more aware of what was going on, which that's a podcast for another day.
That's a book.
That is a book. Stay tuned. But it's one of those things, it's like all this stuff was happening. I didn't know I was psychic or a medium. I just knew that I was feeling a lot. I knew I was sensitive. I always knew I was sensitive ever since I was a kid, because of the stuff that I experienced when I was younger. And my parents were wonderful and never made me feel crazy for it, but I didn't know it was anything more. I always thought it was just, I'm sensitive. Doesn't matter. Some people are sensitive, some people aren't. But when I lived in that house, it blew my senses wide open. Remember when I astral projected outside and it scared the crap out of me? Remember I told you about that?
Yeah, I remember you telling me about that. I
Yeah.
wanna say it was did it snow that time too? Was it snowing?
It was Christmas. It was really cold. It wasn't snowing, but it was really cold. It had maybe had ice a little.
Yeah.
We You had the truck at the time and it was parked in front of the house and I was dealing with sleep paralysis at the time. And I had had a few really, really scary bouts with sleep paralysis, but at this one, I astral projected outside. And when I opened my eyes, I was crouching next to your truck, and I could feel the pavement on my feet, and it was
Mhm.
really cold, and I'm like, "Why am I outside in my pajamas and I'm barefoot? Oh my god, somebody's gonna see me." And so, like, I scurried up the pathway and into the front door, and the front door was open and unlocked, and I was like, "Who left the door open? Who left the Christmas lights are on, oh my god." And I walk in the house, and I'm walking, and it's like everything is really fuzzy, so it's like it almost like dream state, but it felt so real. And then I turn into our bedroom and my eyes open, I'm in bed. And that scared the crap out of me because I astral projected to my other house once before that. And in this house, like I've never astral projected since I moved out of that house. But I had astral projected to the house that I had just sold like 2 years before
Yeah.
and woke up like, in my astral projection was in my old house, and there were all this furniture that I didn't recognize, and I was like, "Why am I here? Why am I here?"
Why are you breaking into these people's house?
And then I woke up and I looked at you and I was like, "Daniel, did I sell my house? Did we get everything
I'm
out of
like
it?"
I'm like, "Yeah."
Like 2 years ago, Ashley, like you sold your house 2 years ago. But I went into my old house and saw these people's furniture. Like, it was crazy, but so I learned that I can astral project. I can't control it.
Yeah.
I don't know where I go. But it was really it was crazy, but I haven't done it since I lived in that house. And everything in that house just kinda led my life to connect to where I was supposed to be, and I didn't realize it. And then here we are now, and I'm doing what I'm doing now, and, like, looking back at everything that happened in that house, and it's just like, it all had to happen to get us where we are now.
One of the things I enjoy most about that house is there were so many things going on. There's so much energy, and looking back on it, it was a lifetime of experiences that we got to have, good, bad, and now when something reminds us of the house, even though we might have had some tough, difficult
Hard
times,
times, yeah.
hard times in that house, like, those things that remind us of that time are for the most part good because they're experiences that we shared together.
Yeah. What was one of your favorite memories of the house, of, like, it communicating with us? Like, when it
Favorite.
I have 2. Can I tell you my 2? Okay. Sassy.
I would say definitely not favorite's a hard word for me to describe those experiences. I I've got 2.
Okay.
The first one is just the most obvious. That night I was taking the test, that was like it was as clear as me and you sitting here talking.
You remember when the baby gate would shake? Like, somebody walked down the stairs, and it would
Yeah.
go ch 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 ch.
The other one was when the light in the closet cut on, and I had just gotten that Braves jersey, and
Yeah.
there was no doubt that it was my grandmother.
Yeah. So, one of the things that one of my friends had told me to do when I was dealing with the dark energy of the house was to call out to my ancestors for help and protection. And when I did, they came. His grandparents showed up, my grandparents showed up, Catherine showed up. I had a warrior team of ancestors show up. And like, remember the vision I had of your grandmother, and I've never seen her before. And I kept asking you who this woman was. And then you were like, wait, that sounds like my mom's mom. And so I went on her Facebook and dug through her pictures until I found one. And I was like, that's her.
That's her. Yeah, and what's funny about that side of the family is that's where the Cherokee Indian
Yeah.
line of ancestors comes from.
Yeah.
And
See,
and then my dad's mother is the one that got the she was a huge baseball fan,
yeah.
and we would watch baseball together. She was a hardcore Braves
She
fan.
loved the Braves, and
And
you and her
so
did that together.
so I got my Braves jersey for my birthday, I believe it was,
From me.
from you, and I wanted it custom so that I could put my grandmother's first initial and her last name on it, so it says F. Caldwell, and then, like, the night or 2 nights after I got it and I put it in that closet, that light cut on.
Yeah, she was like, "Hey." Anytime Daniel is sick or if he has epilepsy, if he has had a seizure, he doesn't seize often, but if he has, his grandmother shows up, and I know it's her because she presents it smoke. And I remember one time he had a seizure a few years ago. I was in that house and I was laying on my side of the bed and I smelled the smoke. And it was almost like she was like, go check on him, like, go check on him. So I walked around the side of the bed and it followed me.
Mhm.
So she was making sure I checked on you. That was after the big one. That was horrible.
Yeah.
And she was really present after I called out, and she's still present. She's not as active here as she
Mhm.
was, but she was really, we were dealing with a lot, and our ancestors were looking out. Like, they were very present, yours and mine.
Mhm.
My favorite was when I channeled him.
Oh, yeah.
when we investigated the house, and, like,
That was
it
intense.
was really intense, and I had asked him if he had met my grandmother and Catherine, and he reacted, like, really powerfully, like, he did not like them. Like, it made my ear hurt so bad.
He said that was a brand new 9-volt battery he had just put in there
Jessica did, yeah.
because they had just gone on an investigation and they needed to replace it. So they had
Yeah.
replaced it and
We were in his bedroom because I had given him a bedroom.
it just drained that battery within a
Yep.
matter of minutes.
When I would go in that room to clean up, the energy would shift. The whole house would feel a certain kind of way, and I would go into that room I gave him because I told him, "You're gonna be here. This is where you stay."
That was his bar room.
Yes, we found out later that was his bar room. That's where he chilled out, and that children and women were not allowed.
Yeah, smoked cigars
Yeah.
and yeah.
And yeah, and so he would respond when I was in there, when any of us were in there.
Mhm.
He liked you, but he liked you more than anybody else. And another favorite memory of mine other than channeling, like, that was a lot, and you even said, "She's done. She needs to get out of here."
Yeah.
It was when the lights were flickering on and off in the office, when
Mm.
all of us were in there, and the more the kids laughed, the faster the light.
And it was at, like, the same pace, I would guess you would say, of the laughter.
Yes, so it was almost like he was playing with them, and I don't know for a fact if it was him, but he was so present in that house that it wouldn't surprise me, and he did, he got used to the when you have kids, it's a different energy, and they are a lot of energy, and they were younger, and I think he enjoyed hearing them laugh and knowing he was making them laugh, and they weren't scared of him, so it was a different kinda energy coming from them than fear, and when we ended up moving, he was a little crotchety. He was, like, happy, but he was sad. People I had one guy ask me, and I didn't like this question. He's like, "Why didn't you if it was haunted, why didn't you capitalize on it?" Yeah. I was like, "Why in the world would I do that?" Like, no. 1, there's an HOA, there's probably rules and limits about running a haunted house in the middle of the city, but
Yeah.
no, I would never, like, this is this man's life, like, and I guess some people can say, playing devil's advocate, people can say, "Well, you talk about it on your podcast." I am not trampling people through and demanding he perform like a performing monkey. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, no, I would never. I would never.
Yeah, I mean, and we didn't have people over there.
No.
I mean, the only time we investigated was when and then Sheila came over and helped sage it,
Right.
and but the other
Oh, the
than
saging was another.
oh, yeah, that was a big one too. I had to go sit outside. I got a headache.
You looked
I've
terrified.
saged a lot of houses with my cousin before because 'cause we've lived in multiple houses. So, it wasn't like the sage was getting to me. It was a whole, like, my body hurt.
Your body hurt. That man sitting outside on that bench looking like he was in trouble, sitting there all kinda crouched over, looking at the
Yeah.
house like, "What are they doing?"
And I could hear I was sitting out there when that smoke alarm went off, and I knew y'all were in the kitchen because I saw y'all walk by the window over the sink. So I
Yeah.
knew that's where you were, and I could tell that the fire alarm was the one going off or smoke detector was the one going off in his room, and I'm like,
Yeah.
"There's a"
That's a big difference. And we were underneath the smoke detector in the kitchen, and it was not going off.
exactly.
Yeah, and but see, what people if you have not listened to my story about this aging, is I need to do a little mini episode. I had that one, but I took it down. I need to redo that one so that way it can have its own episode for people to listen to, and the Bible. But the saging was a powerful moment for me because I did not know that he died in the house at that point. I didn't know that what he died from. And what I experienced in the kitchen during the saging, he made me feel how he died in the kitchen. He died of anaphylaxis, and I was having anaphylaxis in the kitchen. That's what it felt like. And it was right where he had collapsed.
And that the other thing is the consequence of that was just more questions.
Well, and then, our little neighbor, I'm not going to say his name, our little neighbor shuffling over across because every time he saw me outside, him and his little brace, he had to come and see me. He was sweet as pie. Him and his wife, both
Oh,
wonderful people.
love them.
Oh, such good people. But every time they saw me outside, they had to come and tell me another story about him. And they said, what did Mr. H say? He said, if anything in that house is happening, it's him because he loved that house more than life itself and he would
Yep.
never leave. And I
And
was
he said
like,
he would never leave.
he did. He said
He
he would.
told people, "I'm never leaving this house."
And nope. And I told people, I tell them, he lived and he worked and he died in that house. And he died in the kitchen from anaphylaxis. He had an allergic reaction to an injection. And yeah, he made me feel. And even though that was one of the scariest moments of my life, because when you are like choking and can't breathe and you have no clue why, it's terrifying. And you're dealing with a presence that you cannot see. It's terrifying. But knowing that I did that and he was showing me something, and I understand it more now because of my spiritual journey, I understand what he was doing. He was trying to communicate with me in a way that I didn't understand. And it took me a while to understand that he didn't like me, no, at first, but he was trying to communicate the best way he knew how. And that's how he was in life. Unfortunately, he was aggressive
And it wasn't necessarily that he definitely, I don't think, liked people just in general, but if he had to deal with people, he wanted to be the
in
one
charge,
in
his way or
charge.
no way.
Yes, he wanted to be one dictating what was going on, how it was happening,
Right.
and
He was controlling.
yeah.
It was, oh, another moment. We're like an hour in, and I'm like, oh, another one. When I saw his shadow. Oh, hold on.
What
Hold on. He's talking to me. He's making my ear ring. He knows we're talking about it. Took him a minute. I was wondering if he was gonna chime up. He just did. The moment he presented himself in the basement to me as a shadow, and he was huge, and
what
it made
what
me sick.
oh, yeah, that was in the Mermaid Cove,
That was in my podcast studio while I was editing, and I was locked in there by myself, and I only had those 2 lights on. I had the desk
and the
light and the wall
sconce.
light, and he moved in between them, and I was like, and y'all, I wasn't, like, looking away, I was looking right at him. Like, he presented himself, it came, like, he materialized, he manifested in front of me, and it was in the basement, so the ceiling was kinda lower, and it looked about 7 foot tall. This man was big, and we were told by neighbors that he used his size to intimidate people to get what he wanted. That's just how he presented himself to people. He knew I don't know how tall he was, but I'm assuming between 6'3" to 6'5".
Mhm.
He probably weighed the most probably or in his heyday when he was Mr. Universe, probably under 220 to 230, but I think in his towards death, he was probably much more than that.
Yeah,
And he was a big man, and he would use his size, and he intimidated me, and that's what he wanted. He wanted me out of there because that's where his beauty queens laid. That
and
it was his tanning bedroom. He did not want me in there.
we weren't going nowhere.
No, no. Remember, I used to work out, and I could feel him judging me, and I thought it was all in my head. But as time went on, I was like, this asshole is judging my form.
You know what I know what I'm doing, dude. Back off.
I know I'm not
You're
squatting.
dead.
I'm not squatting that low. I'm old. My knees hurt. I'm fat. Leave me alone. At least I'm working out.
You wanna talk about health? What? You don't have any more health. You're at 0 health, bro.
You're at 0. Stop critiquing my squats, dude. Leave me alone.
Yeah. I still have muscles. I still have a body.
Barely. I barely have any muscles left. I'm finally cleared to work out
You
again,
got
so
that body.
yada,
Yada, yada,
yada, yada,
yada,
yada,
yada,
yada.
yada.
Well, I'm finally able to work out again, so I need to work on it because I've lost a lot of muscle mass these past few years, and so I need to work on that again, but now, we've sold that house. I think the question that I get the most is, do I miss it? I miss the experiences because we had so many, like, I can't even begin to recount all of them. I met somebody at the Crescent, asked me if I was gonna write a book, and then he's like, "You really should write a book about your experiences because that's really cool." So I was like, "Maybe." But I don't miss the energy, that anxiety. You never knew what you were walking into,
Yeah.
like, he was such a strong presence. If he was angry or upset about something, we would feel it.
Everybody has hard days. So when we had a tough day or a long day, and then something happened, it's like, oh my god, like
Yeah, like,
not now.
not now.
Read
Like,
the room.
I'm trying to sleep. Stop turning the radio on at 2 a.m. I'm trying to sleep. Stop turning the lights on, bro. You don't pay the bills, bro. Like, we had a big house. That was a lot. The power bill was expensive.
Yes, it was.
Stop turning the light on. Or, like, Daisy's already scared. Don't jiggle her doorknob in the middle of the night.
But yeah, it really was like always something.
It was always something. I would every time once I got comfortable with him and he got comfortable with me, every day I'd walk in from work, "Hey, Wayne." Every day I would leave, "Bye, Wayne." It would just got to be
I'm like, I'm here too. Hey,
I know,
hey.
but
I know. I'm just playing.
you didn't really it took you a long
It
time to
did.
get on board.
I totally admit, and I'm naturally I wanna have that logical explanation, and so that's always gonna be my go-to, right?
Mhm.
I can because I don't think believing and having discernment, are they're not mutually exclusive, you know? I think you have to have both. I think you have
Yeah.
to have a level of discernment and, okay, that's it could be, but
And I
there's
think
also a logical explanation that it is probably.
well, and I think what was so hard for me that when I was going through it is I do have the gift of discernment. I just know things that I shouldn't know sometimes, and I just knew. You couldn't argue with me about it because I knew, and seen him, and I mean, it really, if you ask Daniel, I took the brunt of
Oh, yeah.
his abuse.
100%, and that's I think that was kind of
When he threw the
the
candle at me,
that was the disconnect we had was because you were experiencing things that I was not experiencing, and so I'm like, I can only judge what's going on by what you're telling me,
and I
but
look
also
like a
what I but
lunatic.
also what I'm experiencing, and it's not adding up, and so it just it just took time.
Yeah, it took time until he started experiencing it on his own, but now, we closed on the house a year ago. I absolutely adore that house.
And today's our dating
It
anniversary.
is well, it was actually yesterday, but we are blending it into
S
today.
it went into the night because I'm pretty sure that we were still talking after midnight that night.
We talked a lot. You were in school, you were in class, and you
Night school.
you
Get
realized that I was single again, so you made your move.
I was waiting.
You were waiting, and you were like, "I'm not passing up an opportunity," and I was like, "This guy's so weird."
Uh,
Here we are married. But yeah, it was amazing.
still weird.
Yes, still, and I am as weird, just in a different way. I talk to dead people for a living and about dead people for a living, and I absolutely love it. It has taken me places that I could only dream of in a really weird kind of way because I never thought that this would be my future, and I love every minute of it. I love that when I went to the Crescent, I could feel them moving around the hotel just like they were right there, and it wasn't just me being there with Heather from Tell Me a Scary Story podcast. She could feel them too, and it was amazing to know that, last time I was here was 2 years ago, almost to the month. And I was such a different person 2 years ago, and here I am now able to communicate with them more effectively, able to know when they are affecting me, and I'm more aware of them, and it's really cool, and the experiences I'm gonna have an episode on that. The experiences that I had there aren't recorded. They are my personal experiences that happened that I couldn't record, and whether people believe them or not, I really don't care because it was so real, and I did experience them with Heather, and she can verify them. But I mean, they were amazing, amazing experiences.
Well, speaking of it being our dating anniversary, I'm gonna take a minute to get really mushy,
Oh,
but
oh, no, he did not tell me he was gonna do this.
I didn't. Of course I didn't. So
Oh.
and we've talked about this before on how many times our paths have crossed throughout our lives from basically the time we were 3 years old to the time we actually met. So, the things that my family or businesses both line up very oddly specific with your family and what you're doing now and these experiences, they mesh. It's like a puzzle being put together.
A
And
lifelong puzzle.
and I'm really thankful that I met you. I'm really thankful that you took the time to be my friend because all I wanted was to be a friend. And honestly, if that's all that had ever happened, that we were just friends, I would have been incredibly grateful.
You said
So
that to me. I just
so
wanna be your friend because
so
I asked you. I was like, "What do you want?"
and I'm sure you thought I was bullshitting
I
at the
did.
time.
I sure did, yeah.
And there was a part of me there was obviously a huge part of me that didn't want that to happen, right? But if that had been your choice, I would have been okay with that. And hopefully we would have still been friends, but I get the honor and privilege of now being your husband. And I'm so thankful for you and I'm so proud of you. And I think that it's absolutely more than just chance that we get to spend the rest of our lives together because our lives have been two puzzle pieces that have just been trying to find one another. And so I love you and happy dating anniversary.
Yeah, thank you. I
And
love you
I'm
too.
so proud of you.
Thank you.
You're kicking ass.
Thank you.
You really are.
Well, usually I make people cry, so that's fun. I appreciate it. I thought he was weird as I
I
thought he was
still am.
so weird. I'm weird too, but I thought he was so full of shit. I honestly did. He would tell me stories, and I'm thinking, "This guy is a pathological liar.
There's no way.
There's no way." And then his mom told me his stories, and I was like, "Oh god, he's telling the truth. Okay, this is weird." So, yeah,
The truth is stranger than fiction.
we tell our kids all the time, like, we didn't meet in person. We became friends in 2018, and he was going through his divorce, and he was not ready, and I was in the middle of, like, finding myself and, like, finding out what I like, what I don't like,
So
what I deserve.
she was having fun too.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh,
Don't
no.
even be fronting. You
I
was having
was
some fun.
Oh, I was having a lot of fun.
I'm glad.
I did not enjoy my young 20s. I was married. I wasn't allowed
I'm
to do anything, so I'm a woman in my 30s with my own house, my own money. Hell
hell
yeah,
yeah.
I was having
I had a
fun.
lot of fun in my 20s, and then I had to kind of,
Yeah.
hey, wait a minute.
So I dated. Like, the moment I went through my second divorce from Daisy's dad, like, I dated. I had a good old time, and so by the time I met you, though, I wasn't taking any less than I deserved. I wasn't taking anything because I was tired of trifling
You're
asses.
tired of the bullshit.
I
Like
was.
I've been there, done that. Like no,
Well,
I'm moving on from that.
I'm a very what you see is what you get, and I'm very honest, brutally. And I will ask you sometimes if you ask me a question, I'm like, "How honest do you want me to be? Do you want me brutal or do you want me to soften it?" I don't soften well.
Most of the time, if I ask you a question, I'm I'm expecting that brutal honesty, and that's
Well,
why I'm
but it's
asking.
with everybody.
Oh yeah, absolutely, it's with everybody. But I know
I don't
not
have a
to
lot of
ask that question
I know, I don't have a lot of
unless
friends.
if I ask that question, I know better than to expect anything
I
less.
don't have a lot of
So,
friends. I have 3 very close female friends.
but you know how much I appreciate that too.
Yes, most of my friends do. My closest friends, they do appreciate it. Heather would tell me a scary story. She learned also that I'm very brutally honest. I am, and that's not a that is my facade that I am on my podcast is exactly how I am in life. This is the energy I bring, and but also when I'm done, I'm done. I don't wanna be left alone, and I will isolate to recharge if I need to, and
I'll come find you.
yeah, but you will allow me to
Yes.
isolate and recharge. I'll just be over here. I'll wait. I'm gonna wait. I'm right here. I'm right here. When we first started dating, he thought we were breaking up, and I'm like, dude, I'm just gonna need you to let me recharge. Like, let me. I'm a pit bull, and I need to lay out in the sun and recharge. So you're gonna have to let me recharge. But anyway, yes, that's a whole nother podcast about our relationship and our struggles. We've had a lot of struggles since we've been together, but it has made us better parents and better spouses and better I'm not gonna say better children to our parents. It has made us
Better
more
people.
we've made us better people, but we also set firmer boundaries with because we do have our own family and
Yes.
our kids and each other.
One of the things we always, not even necessarily really discuss, but are usually typically in line are our priorities.
We do have very similar priorities.
They line up very well, and they sometimes you have to shift them around.
Yeah.
And we've done we don't really have to discuss that all the time. They just because we know what's important
Mhm.
to us and each other, we just do what needs to be done.
Yep, we always have, and we always will. And I'm just glad now, I'm so thankful that, like, as my career in podcasting takes off and I'm able to travel more and the kids are older, so they are more self-sufficient, and I don't have to watch them 24/7 because they are not babies. They are gonna be driving this year, 2 of the 3. Like, knowing that I do have the
Oh.
freedom yeah, that's a whole other scary story. But, like, just having the freedom to be able to embrace this career, this it's not a hobby. Guys, this is not a hobby. This is a career. This is what I choose to do, and surprise, surprise, I'm gonna be hosting a Paracon in July. You probably know this by now once you hear this, but yeah,
I'll be there.
you will be there. Daniel will be there. We might have our kids there. I don't know yet. I don't know what weekend that is. We might have them. We might not. But it's really cool to see this baby that I made by myself with a laptop, a cheap microphone, and a free program on my computer that I downloaded. And it came from just not being able to sleep that night and seeing something materialize in front of me and knowing that I needed to talk about it and I just didn't know where. So I created a space to talk about it and knowing how big it's gotten and that it's just beginning. Like it's not even that big. In the grand scheme of podcasting, I have a very small podcast, but the fact that it's growing and people
It's
in the
it's
paranormal community, like, I've heard of ghost gossip. I'm like,
and it's not the amount of listeners, it's not how big or how small a podcast is or any kind of anything that connects with people. it's about the impact that it has on people.
Yeah. I get messages from other sensitive and intuitives in this area, and they're like, "You are such a white light in this community, and you are really doing something great for the
Yeah.
paranormal community." And I'm like, I'm
Well,
gonna cry.
just, I mean, not just the stories, but just the genuineness, the openness. And hey, I'm just a person. We're all just people. Like sometimes it's just good to hear somebody else say something. It might be just a nugget that
Yeah.
helps somebody out.
Well,
So,
I love that I can do this, and I love that it all started with a house that we moved into during a snow day, and that today we get to talk about it during a snow day. And we are big about numbers. It's been 4 years.
well, think about
Good Lord, we moved 4 years ago
think
in the snow.
think
4.
think about this time of year
Wow.
for us. Is a very important time of year for us. Think about all the things that have happened.
Uh-huh, I don't want to right now.
It's a lot.
2 years ago was very life-changing for us. It changed our world. It turned our whole lives upside down. 2 years before that was when we bought the house, so yeah, it's like every 2 years we
And
have
then
it's transformative.
no, it would have been 3 years before that that we started dating, or was it four? That was 2019.
We met in 2018, started dating in 2019, and I made him wait 8 months before I let him call me his girlfriend.
I remember,
He was my friend.
I remember the first time I talked to you on the phone. It was Sunday, so you know what I was doing.
Laundry.
And
I was doing chores. I remember he said, "Hey, do you wanna meet my mom?" Pretty early on, and I went, "Nope."
okay,
I said, "Nope." Took me 8 months no, 9 months to meet your mom. Oh, yeah, I wasn't playing.
hey,
I was like, "No, absolutely not."
give me credit. I knew to ask. I knew to actually ask that question.
If you would have bombarded me, we would have ended. I still don't like surprises. I still don't like surprises. I'm paranoid, okay? So, yeah. But, yeah, we just wanted to talk about it. It's a snowy day. I'm in my kitty cat robe. He's got his hair on, and we're about to go out there and play with our kids in the snow. Our son did not get to play in the snow when it came through last weekend, so I'm very thankful that God gave him a second chance to
Yep.
get out there and play. So he's gonna go play with dad, and I'm gonna make some videos and let Daniel push me down the hill on the boogie board. We're from the South. We don't have sleds. We have boogie boards, okay?
We do what we got to do.
We do. My husband's very what's the
Handy
word?
Dan.
He is handy Dan. He is innovative, I should say. Not me.
Sometimes I'm handsy Dan.
I did tell Ghost Pinkers that you're very supportive, but it's because I let you touch my butt. So you're like, "Let me touch your butt? I'll take you wherever you wanna go."
I love your ass.
Yeah, okay. Okay. Hi, mom. Okay, so anyway, if you would love to follow along, please do. Liking, commenting, rating the show 5 stars. If you have anything other than a 5-star review, you can just email it. But anyway, I appreciate y'all. Thank you so much for your love and support. If y'all can come out, I will be in Arkansas in June for a Paracon. I will be in Brunswick, Georgia, hosting a Paracon in July. Come and see me. Come and say hey. Come get a sticker. And yeah, and
Come meet this guy.
come meet that guy. He'll be out there too. I don't know who else will be out there with me, but I know Jocelyn will be out there. So it will be a lot of fun. Y'all come and hang out. And thank you for listening as always. And until next time, I'll see you later.
Bye, y'all.
Was that good?
Nailed it.
Are you going to use your microphone? We got to record today, or
Microphones are good.
oh,
What?
oh, you're turning into like ASMR all of a sudden.
I'm trying not to.
Oh,
7 years old was a long time for us, baby.
I know.